Up. Yes, it's on and it's working. I can call you. I don't think you did. You took it with you. I still will call you just in case.
I take it Lewis is not here today?
No, he is either getting ready or currently going to Florida.
Busy man.
We do not have such a guy like Lewis in Europe, so such a guy is missing, you know.
Yeah.
That is fighting for the right to repair, so that will be great to have.
Maybe you'll be the Lewis.
Do not have enough
No,
time.
no. Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. Sometimes we need somebody to show us the way.
Okay. Let's give you this board to work on.
Awesome.
Okay, so, hey everyone, welcome to the workshop. I guess we are streaming. Let's find out, actually. Yeah, it's currently live. I think everything's working, and Lewis had this fixed. We were having some issues. He team viewed and fixed everything. Okay, we're good. All right, so we have a cat. Say hi to Mr. Clinton.
Start the show.
Okay, so we have 3 people here. They have some things they want to work on, try to figure out what's going, see what they can do. We got student number 3 here. He has is it a camera?
It's the board of a PTZ camera, yeah.
Okay.
It's just the board I have to.
Let's see, we go to lab C3. It shows up, nice. So his device, he says, if he applies pressure onto, he does have distorted image, but if he applies pressure on this chip right here, the image does get clear again. I gotta refocus this.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I wanted to see how you did that.
Shoot.
Was none of that playing these?
It's on its max raise. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, cool. All right, so he says if he applies pressure on this chip, that the image does get clear again. Solder joints don't look too bad, but we were going to try to reflow it and see if that was going to fix his issue.
I believe there's balls underneath. I looked up the chip for lots of connections.
We can try picking it up, see what it does. But if you want to reflow it first, see if it works, then...
Yeah, because it's something like 80, 90 connections underneath.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I looked up the chip.
Okay.
Yeah, reform, I don't know. I'm thinking it might be better, but you tell me.
I'm not too sure, because it does look like, it has legs instead of balls underneath.
Yeah, it showed both to me, so I don't know. I don't know if I was just looking at the diagram wrong.
Yeah. On the other side. It honestly shouldn't.
Oh yeah? That'd be great. If
Yeah. It should just be the legs underneath, because usually the center stuff, and everything on the center should be ground.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, but again, we can try reflowing it. It's not going to move, because again, it is soldered with legs on the sides. But you can reflow it. It will, reconnect the joints. You can also see what it does. We have student number 2. I think the camera wrong. Oh. Alright, camera 2. He's never worked on a board before. He wanted to try taking off a chip, any chip would really, and he just wants to see how, the tools we use, see how he can actually do it himself.
Technically, I have worked on one board.
Oh.
That was back in high school, so I'm still kind of shabby. But I'm familiar with it.
Alright, if you want to pick out anything you'd like to
Okay.
work on, let me just get this
Yeah.
out of your way. Let me just refocus this. Go. You can take your time. You pick out anything you'd like. All right, and for you, I'll get you set up.
Yes, I was worried about all the little parts next to it.
Are you sure it wasn't this chip?
You know, it might have been. Well, these two both are suspect because they were in the same area.
Yeah. Because this one is a BGA chip that...
Yeah, that's probably the one. Yeah, maybe I masked the wrong one. I masked it, and it was like 2 months ago, and I needed to get back to it, so it could be.
Yeah.
So, both of them need work, I would assume.
Yeah, we can try refilling both.
But whatever approach you
Yeah.
think's best.
It's a good thing you actually brought masking tape, I guess, because you don't want to burn any of the ports when you're trying to heat it up. So we're just going to use this as a protective layer.
Okay. Right.
And that should shield the board enough so that it doesn't, damage anything. Okay. So we get that in frame.
And as long as I get low air, I won't blow all these off?
Yeah, no, see the solder is what's holding them together, and you would need a lot amount of air to actually like blow them off, but the solder should hold them in place in time. I don't think our camera 3 is working. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can get that ready for you.
It's first flex, right?
Yeah, you can apply flux around the area you want to work on.
1 hour.
Maybe I can try to help him.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yes?
Yeah, that'd be good.
must have combined that memory in my head that, yeah, it's two different chips.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just a second. You have to
Yeah.
turn it on.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
this way.
Thank you.
No
Thank you.
problem.
Ah.
And wait. You have to set up the correct temperature and also the airflow. So I think for that you would like to remove. It will be 350-ish or maybe. What do you
Yeah,
think?
400 should be fine.
Okay, 400 and air. Yes. Okay, because it's a big part and just move it down that everyone can see it.
Okay.
This part you would like to remove.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. And then on the hot air gun, you press that button. And what you'd like to do is you want to hold the chip with your tweezers.
But this is not a chip. I think that's.
Oh, it's an inductor, yeah.
It's some kind of, I don't know, inductor or?
Yeah, it's an inductor. So you're just going to wait a little bit. You will see the solder melt right about, give it 3 more seconds or so. Okay, you can see the solder is starting to melt. And I believe it's melted enough where you can grab it with your tweezers and pull up. No, not yet. Now you gotta reheat it again. You turned off your hot air, actually.
did?
Yeah, you pressed the
yeah.
button. There you go.
Okay. Thank you.
It's interesting to me because I don't know what to say that.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's,
with the same thing, 400. And
yeah.
I do have this unit, but I don't know what temperatures are good for what. And I have no
Yeah.
practice on it really. I think at home I was in 800, but
Mm-hmm.
I could damage something that way, right?
Yeah. You just gotta keep the air on the chip. As soon as you move it, the solder is gonna reharden.
Alright.
Oh, there's no hang time there, right?
Yeah, not really. Alright, so okay, I see the issue. Alright, if you want to just stop for one moment. There we go. Okay, so unfortunately someone has set you up. They gave you a smaller nozzle, which is not going to heat the board enough for you to actually remove the chip.
Okay.
I didn't see that until now, but we can easily fix that. We'll grab the right nozzle.
Put
This,
more flux on it?
if you'd like. I think there should be enough.
I'll put tiny.
Hot air cool down. Alright. Pop that back on. Alright. So the way you want to hold this is you want to leave it just right above the chip,
Okay.
or whatever you're going to be working on, about like 3 or 4 centimeters above. I'm going to move the board a little so we have it in frame. So you can see the joints, as soon as they start turning nice and shiny, is when you can remove anything on that part of the board.
The joints. Okay.
Yeah. So like right on the bottom of the inductor, you can see how it's like silver, but it's a little crusty looking.
Yeah.
But now you can see that it changes color, so now it's liquidized. So now you can pick it up with your tweezers, and you can just lift straight up. There you go, just like that.
Sweet. Alright.
And do you want to put it back on the board?
Which tip can be replaced? Like, okay, this one's off,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to put it.
Well, you can realistically just put it back on where you
Oh, yeah.
took it from, yeah. All right.
All right, sweet. Nice.
didn't have the bigger tip, could you do it with the smaller one?
Because this has such a bigger surface area, the smaller one will actually just get stuck because it's not producing enough heat. It'll melt the solder, but then the solder will dry up, and now both of them are, basically welded onto the board. All right, so you want to, it's why we say prep the pad. So we're just going to move the chip back off.
Sweet.
I'm going to add some flux, and you want to just touch up those joints with the soldering iron. Not with the hot air gun.
Oh, no.
Let's see, grab that. Okay, so here's your iron.
Okay.
Careful, it's hot. And then you're going to get some fresh solder, which is right here. So you're going to apply, put this in frame. Okay.
Right there.
Yeah, so you're going to touch the pad with your iron, and you're going to apply some solder onto said pad. It doesn't look like you're touching the pad at all. Press your iron right onto the board. You come in at a steeper angle. Like you're holding a pencil,
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, just like that.
Alright, I think I got it.
Yeah, like that. And you just press down.
How do you distinguish the correct temperature for hot air? This is the only thing I every time I'm not really, let's say, or I'm concerned of what airflow and what temperature are you setting on the air gun when you are removing and when you are applying back the.
Okay, so there's things you got to take into consideration, like how thick is the board, how many like is it multiple layers or not. So for MacBooks we use max air, max heat because it is 8 layers. You got to really heat up that ground pad, those ground areas, because they really don't like to melt.
Okay.
But there is things to take into consideration, like is there connectors in the way? Are you going to burn them?
Okay.
For regular solder, I believe the melting point on it is around 375 is a good
It's Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Celsius.
Okay.
So yeah, somewhere around 375 is enough to melt the solder. But then, are you gonna just heat up that specific area, or you want like everything else to get heated up equally? And that's why we, bring it up the heat or bring it down according to what we need to do.
Okay. And for example, if because those previous repair attempt that was made on those Xbox machine was the issue was that I think on the pads they used low melt solder, so they resoldered the grounding pads, like the HDMI connector is. It has 4 grounding pads that are huge, and all the contacts. Low melt solder was applied only on those 4 pads, so they are just ripped it off. So is it needed to, or I don't know if you are repairing also Xboxes or not really?
We don't really take them in, but we can repair them.
Okay. Okay. For example, MacBook with HDMI port.
Yeah.
That was a Retina, the first Retina one. The pad has to be, or the pads has to be heated from the bottom or from the top side.
The way they're shoot.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So the way that they are, the way you remove them, you want to heat the opposite of that.
Okay.
So if you have to pull up, then you heat from the bottom. If you have to pull down, you heat from the top.
Okay. So you have to reheat all those layers in the board.
Yeah.
And remove it.
Mhm.
It's much better than from the top, because this was like they were trying it removed from the top.
Yeah. Because the way you have to heat it is whatever pins have to go through the board.
Okay.
So basically the pogo, I guess the ground pins that
Yes,
hold the
yes,
board in.
yes.
So if you heat from the top, it's
Yeah.
going to take a while for
Okay,
it to heat up. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you come from the bottom, you can heat those up quickly and you can just
And
pull
when
up.
those small, it's not so
They
critical
should
to
yeah,
test.
they should be heated by the time those are melted.
Okay. And as soon as you see that it's melted, you can
Yeah.
lift it up carefully.
And if you feel any resistance, then you should wait, heat it up a little bit more, then it should, it should just come up easily instead of,
Okay.
you don't have to struggle with it.
Yes. Great. Thank you.
Okay. Just give me one moment. Okay, so yeah, now that you have the pads prepped, you want to grab your component that you want to put on, which is right there. You're going to lay it back on the board, and you're going to hold it in place because now there's nothing holding it, and your hot air will blow it away if,
Got it.
if you were to heat it up. So you're going to lay it kind of close. That's good enough.
I got big hands, so it's
Mhm. Okay, that's fine. You just have to hold it in place.
See?
Yeah, it's kind of like playing Operation.
Oh yeah.
Actually, just give us a moment. You want to pull that off real quick? I want to do something.
Yeah, no problem.
So you applied solder too fast to
Mhm.
where you do have these stiff peaks. You see
Okay.
they're like little mountains that are making you not lay flat on the board.
Yeah, I see.
If you just hold your iron right there for more than like 3 or 4 seconds, that stiff peak will go away.
Ah, okay.
And that was the issue you were having. And now that they're somewhat more flat on the board, you can probably put that component on easier. It's also glued on down with flux. There you go.
How do you avoid those mountains? You just
You just need more heat.
oh,
Okay. So now it lays flatter. Nice. Hold it down, grab your hot air gun. And now you just want to keep your tweezer just right on top of it, pushing down ever so slightly. That way it doesn't move when you're applying heat. You press the button, and we're going to heat up that chip. Now you're a little too close. If you just bring it up a little bit, there you go. Careful not to burn your fingers. You might want to angle it a little downward. I meant your hot air gun, because you are blowing. Yeah, you want to blow right on it. So any second now, this should melt. It should take about 3 or 4 more seconds. You can see that your component is now swimming-ish,
yeah.
and now you've laid it down on the board flat. You can remove your tweezers now. It's being held by the solder. And now you just want to reflow it so that it sticks into place, which is what you just did. So yeah, you can take off your heat. You're done.
It just like jumps into place.
Yeah, that's the surface tension of the solder.
Okay.
Just the. You have to press this loop.
And then slowly. Okay. I
And
see.
you could put it back on the rack, yeah. All right. And let's see what other. And now we're going to look at cam 3, which is green. Nice. Is this an issue with our camera?
It's a green board, no? With green solder mask.
No, it's our camera's just not outputting green it correctly.
Something wrong?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually ask you two to switch seats so we can get this on camera.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna lay your chip. Where is it? Right. Oh,
I guess we could do that one first.
right here. Okay.
Now, what I saw with what he did on the other chip, that
Mhm.
reminds me of a question that when we're reflowing There's no pushing down on
No.
this chip because of
Okay.
the balls?
Yes. So if you were to push down with this, all the balls will shoot out the sides.
Yeah, not good.
So the only way to really do this is either go by instincts, or you can see that it melted and you can give it a light nudge where you can see all like the chip will shift a little, but you don't push it too much where it will move out of place.
Yeah.
So if you don't feel comfortable, I can do it for you and you can just see how it looks, because it is a
Yeah.
very delicate thing to work on. What's these called? Ball chips,
Yeah,
basically.
ball chips,
I
yeah.
okay.
Yes.
So I can let you reflow this 100% because if it does
Uh-huh.
move, we can put it back in place. But
Yeah.
this is a very,
Yeah.
touchy subject.
I totally agree.
So I'm just gonna apply flux to the area that I'm gonna heat up. So
And
this corner right
that
here.
was my main worry because I kept reading different approaches on it. I was like, okay, I don't know which one to do.
Okay. So we can get our fume extractor. Oh,
And then I only have one. I couldn't find any others like it in my
Damn.
stash of stuff.
okay. Yeah, just grab it for me. Thank you. Okay. That's fine. You let go. All right. Good enough. All right. So we applied flux. Now we just need to heat that area of the board.
And that would be enough flux to run underneath and all that?
Yeah, you're gonna see it. If I get it in. This camera is very zoomed in, which. No way to undo that. All
Do
right.
you want to sit for this?
It should be fine. Okay,
You
so
are the one working,
let's see. Oh yeah.
You are the one working,
Let's have it on cam 1. There we go. All right. So I'm going to be reflowing this ball chip for this guy. Again, he says he has distorted image, but if he applies pressure on this specific chip, the image comes back clear. So we're going to try to reflow it, see if that helps. And if not, then he might have a giant paperweight.
Which I know, I've already used pretty much.
Gonna get our heat
You said about
ready.
400?
Yeah. So as you see, the flux has melted underneath the chip. I also don't have the right nozzle. That's fine. That just means I have to move it around a little bit. Yeah. Alright, so it's starting to melt. And soon it should be melted enough where I can give it a light nudge. I might need a bigger nozzle, actually. I'm gonna steal this one. Sorry. I'm gonna wait for it to cool down. All right. reapply some flux, and we'll try again. All right.
Oh, you might actually see the balls from the side.
Let's see if we can. So the reflow seemed to have, I mean, to my knowledge it worked, but I can't really, say.
Yeah, at least the first words look okay.
But yeah, the balls are intact, nothing's bridging. So it should theoretically have worked. Did you want to reflow this chip as well or no?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Whatever. Those two seem to be the culprit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been quite a while pushing on it. But with the one with the balls, how do I actually know I got it up to 10?
So
I don't know if you nudged it. It was so slight.
yeah. So I was pushing at these as well, and you can use like components around you as reference. So if these melt, then it's safe to say that this is also melted.
Oh, so like I was covering them up, they can actually help me visually.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
So this one,
Yeah, it's going the wrong way.
these ones you can visually see because it's gonna change color. When they, I mean, it's not gonna change color. They're gonna look more shiny when they're melted.
And always with flux, never dry.
Yeah, it never dries. So yeah, see, if I were to touch it with my tweezers, you'll see like the solder move around. That's how you know it's melted as well.
It takes a while, I guess, to notice the subtle difference.
Mm-hmm. And now we're just gonna clean up all the flux that are left on your board. That way it's not sticky and kind of gross.
Yeah. But even again, it's not corrosive, right?
It is not, it's no clean flux. It shouldn't cause any damages. However, it just looks bad. Over time, it'll have like a yellow hinged, or, it'll look gross. It'll look like a giant booger on your PCB. But, okay, so here you go. It is still pretty warm, actually. Okay, I'm gonna let it cool down for a bit, actually. Okay, there we go. And we can check up on our other student, see what he has tried working on. Change cameras. Alright, trying to replace another inductor.
So, just a quick question. So, if that didn't work out, it would have to be
Replaced.
Reflowed or replaced,
Yeah.
and then I have to do that whole get the chip stencil.
Mm-hmm. You can, if you're lucky, you can find them pre-balled.
Oh, I didn't know there was a thing. Oh. Okay. So what's the-
What about the method when you remove all the balls
Mhm.
from the board with wick and also from the chip,
Mhm.
and then just use a good amount of flux and also solder, and just solder those pads and then place the chip. Is it correct?
Unfortunately, you can't. You can do that. It's just not gonna. It doesn't really work out 100% of the time
Yeah.
because each of those pads,
Will not have the same
yeah,
or correct
yeah,
amount of.
they will when you run your iron across it,
Yeah.
it'll take different amounts of solder.
Even if there's a lot of flux. for
Yeah,
example.
it varies. I can show you.
Okay.
I'll grab a donor board actually
Okay,
right now.
thank you.
Let's see.
This is the reason why.
All right, so someone here asks if we were to just place solder on a SMC pad, basically, can you just do that as opposed to reballing one? And I told him if we were to do that, the pads won't look the same. They won't have the same amount of solder on it, and basically can't do it. You can, and you might get lucky with it someday, but again, it's not really reasonable. You won't really be successful with it.
Definitely, but let's say
In-
about 70% it worked out for me, but maybe it depends on number of pins, etc., etc. So
Is it a good second option?
yes, maybe I was just lucky.
So if I were to just wick these pads real quick, let's see.
A similar size tip, what size is?
I think it was, I don't know, maybe 10 by 10 millimeters. I don't know. I do not know these inches really well.
Okay.
Yeah, millimeters is better.
Yeah. Or maybe
Wow.
10 by 10 or 10
Yeah,
by
yeah,
15.
yeah. This one, it's 15.
So you said you apply a lot of flux,
Uh-huh.
and then if I were to just put all solder around all the pads. Okay. Oh. Wait. Okay. And then let's clean it up. And now it does look like they all have solder on them,
Mm-hmm.
but if I were to look at it from a different angle, see, we are here.
Oh, I see. Yes, I see.
Oh, wow.
You see,
Okay.
some of them are
Yeah,
higher
I
than
see, I see, I
others.
see, yeah.
So where you think it's uniform, they're all gonna.
Okay.
And that way, if you reball them, you know for certain they're all the same height because you use the same
Yes,
amount
yes,
of.
Then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So the best way is to use a stencil and the solder paste?
Yeah,
or
the best way is to.
and if you do not have a stencil?
They do have universal stencils you can probably try.
Okay.
Because
Yes, because
Yeah.
stencil the parts are
You
plus
just
minus.
like
Yeah.
it's square, right? You shift it to the corner to get that space on it.
That's not enough space, you know, because
Um,
when I'm trying to change something, there are other parts on the board already.
the most extreme case I've seen is people would put just the bare chip. They'll put individual balls on where the pads are, and then they'll use like 300 degrees air, but zero air pressure. Like 1% air. So
Okay.
the balls don't fly off. So they'll just
Right on the
melt.
pad.
Okay, and all the individual ball melted
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
those
Similar,
certain places. Okay.
similar to this, but the perfect amount is on the pad.
Either that-
The
Because it's
balls
one
are the
ball.
same.
Yeah.
Yes.
One ball.
Or sometimes they put it on a heat pad, so the ball will just melt right onto the pad
Yeah,
itself.
I understand. That's great.
So they sell the balls, the little jar of balls. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Oh, I'll show you in a second.
Yeah. I always
The balls run to those holes, and then you heat it up. It melts.
combining two of those.
So they sell solder balls for each. Depends on what application you're using it for.
Oh.
Some bigger chips need bigger balls. Usually we use these ones that are
Oh, wow, look
tiny
how fine
enough.
that is.
Yeah, it's enough just for like those chips right there.
0.3 millimeters.
Yeah. I think 2.5 is for the SMC,
Okay.
but I think 3 would work. What do you think?
Three works.
3 works. Okay.
Wow,
That's great.
interesting. So if my chip fails, what's the best route? It's just the stencil and paste. I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I have one for a second, Paul?
Wait, Paul. Here's your balls.
Do them all the time, so I'm sure it's good. Yeah. Yes, we do.
So you do have it in place. You just have to wait for it to cool off.
Are you allowed to use leaded solder?
Yeah, we use only leaded.
Yes, because there's a problem in Europe. You can't even buy a leaded solder.
Oh, really?
Yes, so we are using. I'm not using unleaded solder because it's
You just tell them it's
it's
unleaded.
totally. It's not good. It's
But
really fragile.
What if you were authorized service center, but you said that don't exist there? Right? Like, can you get it if you were approved?
No. I have also let's say a paper there, and I can service the things, but I do not run a service. It's just my hobby, so I just service for the neighbor, the guys, etc. But no, you can't buy. Officially, the shops stopped selling the leaded solder. And also, I am quite often repairing the boards without.
You have to consider everything in the area. Like when he did my chip, he put the foil over the connectors. 'Cause
Yes,
they melt quicker than anything else.
And you are also, for example, changing the connectors on the flex flexes, or it's not a good idea? For example, if you have this kind of flex,
Yeah.
so you are changing also these connectors?
We
Not really.
it depends. If we can buy them,
Okay.
then no. If we don't have no choice, then we have to. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Because that
Yes, this you can buy.
it's
I
like a
think.
$3 part,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it doesn't
So
make
why
any
would you put
sense.
an hour worked
Yeah,
into it? Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
But
And
yeah,
you are
we
using a hot air or a heating plate?
I we use hot air to remove it, but like
Okay.
from far away, so it
Okay.
doesn't melt anything.
Okay.
But I think we have to hand solder it back on.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I guess if a part's not available, you put more time into it. You have to, right?
And how many places like Louis has is in States? Like
There's
they are making this totally specialized work like you made.
there are countless places like this
Yes.
around on on all the states, you know.
Okay.
There's like a group, like Facebook groups that I follow. They
Mhm.
have several people
Okay.
doing these kinds of things.
I'm watching also Jessa.
Hmm.
Yeah,
She's
she's
great.
good.
Yeah, she's great.
Good personality too.
Yeah. Really great. She was a teacher before.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
yeah.
She actually taught a class recently for MacBook repairs.
Okay, but I mean, like before she started the job with the repairs.
Oh, an actual teacher? I don't know.
I don't know either, but I have something in my mind, but maybe I'm just wrong.
Yeah. So yeah, you applied solder really good there. You see how nothing's sticking up, and you can apply that component right back onto where it came from.
So can we maybe try to repair a trace? Is it possible?
Yeah.
Do you have some kind of board in which we can try it? Because this I never made before.
Let's see. Let's see.
No, the joint broken also from the solder.
Oh, okay, from the board.
Yeah,
All right.
from layer to layer.
Yes. Definitely, I think.
Because when I'm flexing it, it comes back. I'm assuming it's the chip, because I push it on the chip, but I guess it could be somewhere else.
Yeah. All right. Oh.
So you will try to rip it off, like.
No. I'm gonna take it off,
Okay.
gently,
Okay.
and then I'll break the pads,
Ah, okay. Yes.
and then put it back on.
You can't do it by purpose, you can't bend it.
Yeah, but then I gotta grab a new one to replace it.
Okay, this is a HDI, like a converter from HDMI to HDI.
No, it has all those outputs simultaneously. It's a camera,
Yeah.
TV camera.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're all active at the same time.
Oh, okay.
It runs which one you want to use.
Okay, so it's not a converter
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it does convert, but not,
Yeah,
it's not sold
that's
out.
it, yeah. That's
Yeah, it's an $800 board, so I was like, well, you buy
but it's something
$800
like
camera.
yeah, it's something like Black Magic or
Similar. It's the lower branch. It's
okay.
I forget the name. I just thought of my head. It's not on here, is it?
no.
Just thought of my head. Yeah, look,
Red? Oh,
I wish it was a red, but I definitely would repair a red. Yeah, that's a good deal. No, it's a lower brand,
Okay.
but it's still about $800.
Yeah. So say they broke off this guy. And they broke this guy. How many pins you said were damaged?
all of them, but only try 2 of them. It's okay. It's okay. But the only the ground pads
Yeah.
still. So there were maybe 4 of them, but it doesn't matter. Just try 1,
Okay.
2.
Yeah.
It will be fair enough, and just know how to do it.
Yeah. All right. I need the micro pencil, which will be this one. Okay.
Min-ray. Double 2 R's. Min-ray. Put the working channel in. They sell them here. But
Oh wait, what am I doing? I don't need that.
they sell them here, but they want to pay the market. Like the working machine. Yeah, just gotta be patient, you know?
Oops.
It takes months.
Get this out of the danger zone.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it seems not busy enough. I haven't had any problem.
Okay.
A few orders up there.
Yeah. And you also have to pay the tax or something like that, or the customs.
Nothing more than the shipping company. Yeah, not to declare anything extra.
They clear it.
Okay. So when repairing rip pads, traces, anything like that, you want to first see where it's coming from. So you can see this line travels all the way to this capacitor.
No, capacitor.
Yeah, and this one also, you follow the trail, it goes here.
Okay.
For you, you're probably gonna see like either go to like just this little nub right there, and you have to like either dig at it, or if it is a line, then you can follow the line. But you just wanna reveal that trace wherever it was coming from. And you don't need to reveal a lot, just enough that you can solder onto. So I could just keep scratching at this until I have enough pad where I can actually work with.
Okay.
So this,
Can I maybe try it and you will verify?
gave me.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea.
Let me see if I can even get to this point. Oh, I scratched this really bad. So yeah, I need to reveal it from over here.
Oh, you can see where they are. Okay. I thought those were just scratches, but it is clear where they are. Okay.
And you just want to be gentle because you can, break it if you apply too much pressure. But yeah, see, that looks fine. And now what you can do is get some flux and some solder. And now you have something to work with for this.
I guess you're just gonna add wire.
And from that point, you can either run jumpers or there's some special thing you can buy that can, they're basically like pads with a wire sticking out of them. You can use that, or you can just use regular jumper wire. Yeah, right there, yeah. So
Those pads you have to, let's say, glue it to a place, or just
You
run
c-
a solder mask after you.
yeah, you can hold them in place with solder mask,
Okay.
and that should hold them enough for what you can solder onto.
Okay.
Other than that, you can just run a regular jumper. Alright, now you just cut the excess right here. And just like that, you have your pad. And I lost the connector. Is it on my shoe? No. There it is. And if you were to put that connector back on, right there. So you see, it would make contact with that pad, and then the next jumper you'd run into that pad. Would you like to try?
Yes, if I can.
Yeah, go right ahead.
There's the wire.
Yeah.
Replace processors or anything?
Unfortunately, we do not. CPUs are one, they're impossible to find, so your only way to get them is from pulling off from another board, but doing so can damage it, and it's not really viable. Also, there's about 500 balls that you need to put on it if you were to take it off from another computer.
I see.
We have done it in the past, but that was strictly just for data recovery. For the newer models where the SSD is soldered on, there's nothing you can really do to recover data if it does fail. So that's the only time we would ever be incentivized to actually replace a CPU.
pull it out and let's say that there's water damage under it.
Yeah.
Well, what would you have to do to clean it? Like to get to repair the board from the water damage, what would you have to do?
So first, I would try to clean off the liquid damage, and you can assess if it does look like it is good. But if it does look bad, you can either try reflowing it, or you can either replace it or take the chip off and see if it does look good. Then you can put it back on if needed. But
I see.
other than that, then
I see.
Much better. What's the best way to hold this? This wire. Here. You hold it like this.
yeah.
Okay. No. It's possible that I'm capable of
Let me see those
cut it.
tweezers. Let me see those tweezers real quick. Thank you. Just clean them. Okay. So I usually grab it a little bit, from there,
Okay.
and then you can
Yes. Yes, I
place it
understand.
right there, and you can just solder the end right to the board.
Okay. Yes.
I was noticing that the view does not match from there to here. Is
Yeah.
that normal?
We are looking at that, and we're looking at there.
Because that's probably my next purchase, and I was like, oh boy.
Oh
How
no!
does
See,
that work?
the issue with this trinocular lens is, I believe it's, we didn't have the Barlow that goes here.
Oh,
It's supposed to, it's supposed to zoom it out a little bit because you can see clear here, but here is very zoomed in. Unfortunately.
Both different views, well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's because this itself has a Barlow. So if I were to remove this,
Yeah, might make a match.
then
You gotta do it on each side, I guess.
yeah, basically, because this makes it 0.7, so it decreases the zoom by 3/4.
Yeah, okay.
But now this doesn't have that Barlow. This is
Yeah.
just straight up seeing what.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard. Okay. So when I order, I gotta make sure it has all those parts.
These are external pieces. It doesn't come with the microscope.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I gotta
Yeah.
think about what magnification I'm buying.
Yeah, it depends on what you, how. The thing is with that Barlow, it just makes it so that this doesn't have to be as low.
Oh,
'Cause without the
more
le-
room, right,
Yeah,
for
so
work.
without the lens, you're gonna be like working here,
Yeah.
which isn't really that much space considering if you're soldering right under it, it's gonna be blocking
I
you.
want a 0.7 then.
Yes.
Okay.
We do. They also make other ones like 0.5 or 0.2. That will just make it even higher. You have to look even farther away.
Yeah. Okay. But no, this seems fun.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. 0.7 is a really good.
Just have to match the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good question.
Okay. Do you think that this pad at the end, this one,
Yeah.
belongs to those
Yeah.
pad, or
It was, and
so it's better to solder it also here?
if
or-
if you were to solder it, it'll fly off. It's not really attached to anything.
Okay. So now it's soldered here.
Yes.
On the tray.
Mhm.
And you have to solder it also here or not?
No.
No.
If you
Okay.
were to touch it with your iron, it'll fly off.
Okay. So now I have just to cut the wire. With
Yeah.
the
Yeah. You cut it to the
Starlight.
appropriate length.
Okay. Now I can see Those are straight.
Yeah. Lastly, you just want to clean it up. You want to apply, you want to clean it the way it's from when it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
soldered, because
Yeah.
if you go up, you're going to move it
Yeah.
or possibly break or rip it. And the reason why we clean it is because we're going to put some solder mask afterward, and it doesn't bind to flux, but it will bind to the board. So you need this like 100% clean.
Okay. And you are using isopropyl.
Yeah,
also,
yeah,
like
100%.
Not 100.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we can grab the connector and try to connect these.
Yeah, there should be 2 holes that this plugs into. So if this stops moving left and right, then you have it plugged in.
Like on the board.
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
It's not moving.
Yeah, they have 2 little pogo pins.
Okay. Okay. And now you are soldering it by
By
it's
hand.
offset by hand.
Let's see. You
Looks
just-
like it's offset.
That's on there. Yeah, that's a little offset, but it's fine. It will make contact with all the pins.
Okay, so now it's time to just resolder it.
You can either resolder it, or if you want to put solder mask on the
Okay.
on the pins so they don't move.
Okay.
It is, it's recommended to do so, but you don't have to if you're,
Okay.
like skilled. Because if you were to touch this with your iron, this might get desoldered and come off.
And it will just
Yeah.
stay this way. Okay. Okay. I understand. Great. Great. There will be definitely about 15 pads I have to repair or something like that. So
Yeah.
it will be quite.
Quite a journey.
time-consuming.
1 moment. All right. So they do sell these things. They're called Wiley pads,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a sheet of
Okay.
let's see if we can zoom out. Okay, so they do have like individual pro point pads, dotted pads, and I think on the bottom are the ones that you would be using. Yeah,
Okay. So you just remove it, you place it,
yeah.
solder it, and then put the solder mask.
Let's see. So you just stick your tweezer right on here. Feels right up like a sticker.
I will try to focus. Okay. Okay, I understand.
And then you can put it on your. I crushed the hell out of it.
Yes, but I understand. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can place it.
Right. Eh. Alright, in theory. Oh, it's on my thumbnail. It's hard to do standing, I'm sorry. You could put it in place of that.
Yes, I understand. The
And then this jumper is what would connect to that, yeah.
to the place.
Ugh.
Trying to connect the cell down somewhere,
Oh,
or it just
I could find a new one for you.
no.
That's the problem with small parts.
It wasn't falling. It's not here, so I'm assumed that maybe it's stick here now. It's stick to something which like somewhere. Okay, but it's straightforward. I have to.
Oh, hello.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Thank you. Maybe I will try without solder mask and we'll see.
You guys still sell cameras here? The microscope?
The microscope camera?
Yeah.
We don't sell anything
Oh,
anymore.
it's on
We
the website.
we used to sell the microscope itself, but we ran out of stock and we never got new ones.
Oh, yeah.
For the camera, we got them from AliExpress. I believe it was like $80 for a camera.
Oh, okay. I was thinking maybe I'd buy them from you guys. but-
Yeah, no, unfortunately, we don't have them anymore.
It's really a huge problem to buy MTech flux in Europe. I can't find it anywhere, so I'm.
Supply chain disruption.
I don't know, but it never was. Maybe from the States I can order it, but it will be really costly with the shipping. So that's why. But now I will be here until next Tuesday, so maybe I can order it to the
Yeah, you
hotel.
should, yeah.
Yes,
I would do
maybe
that.
I will try it this way. I'm using the Chinese.
Oh, yeah, expert
Chinese. I think it's a fake.
Yeah.
Because there's
Oh,
written
yeah.
MTech on it, and it's also like made in USA. But I don't
You
think
guys carry flux though.
Yeah, we sell.
Yeah.
you sell
Just
flux.
not the hardware. Yeah, you
Yes,
got
so
flux.
I can buy
I
in
recently
here.
ordered it.
also?
I want to see if we have them in stock yet.
No problem.
It says you're in the market. That's a big bottle.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have flux. It's back in stock. Don't delay by today.
How many do you want?
Okay, so I
Yeah.
will buy one definitely.
Yeah, we were out of stock for about a week.
What about customs? If I will fly back to
I don't think.
there will be a issue.
No.
Okay.
I think this has to go on checked luggage, though, not carry on.
Okay. Okay. I will put it near my medicine. That will be good.
I mean, I can ask Paul. He was a TSA agent, so he should know about.
Yes, that will be definitely great, but I do not want to have any issues.
Yay! There you go.
James the viewer.
There you go. You want it, bro? Take it, bro. Meow. Mr. Clinton.
Wait, who is this guy? Do you know?
JP.
Oh, wait, JP?
Maybe.
I assume.
Clinton, no.
Is there a limit to how many you can buy?
Say whoever sent the donuts, thank you.
Whoever sent us donuts, we appreciate it. And Clinton's gone.
How much is the flux? What was the price in the flux?
I think they're 20. I don't know. Maybe I gotta check the website.
The flux is included. Krispy Kreme, pretty good.
Okay, and now you are just applying some solder on the tip of the soldering
Ah,
iron.
okay. So the way I do it personally is I get, some flux. I'll just say this area is what I'll work on.
Okay.
Now I don't want too much solder because this does bridge easily because they are very close together.
Okay.
But I'll get some solder on here. I'll clean it off, and we're gonna go here. Make sure it's pressed down, aligned. So with the tip of my iron, I'll touch the pad, and then I'll touch the connector. Pad, connector, pad, connector, pad, connector, pad, connector. And for your jumper issue,
Okay.
I'm gonna have to, since there's no pad,
Yeah.
and I can't really touch the jumper because it might fall off.
Okay.
You have to just be very, my camera. Be very gentle. You want to touch the top, and you want to keep doing that until it makes nice contact. Or you can see it. Oh, uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, that's why you want to try using
Yes,
solder
yes,
mask.
The mask is okay. I understand. I
Negative
understand.
prescription, so I can see the mountains from
Okay. So I saved it, but now that's connected. But you want to just try to touch the pin, and the jumper should stick to the.
Oh, okay, I knew it.
Okay. And it's much better if it's held in place by
By
the solder
masking,
mask.
yes.
Okay.
And then afterward, you can test it. You can move this pin, and if both the pin and the jumper move, that means they're soldered on.
Okay.
If I move this, see that moves. But this, see it moves. It doesn't move with it. It's not soldered on.
Okay.
So I just need to touch it a little. So what I want to do is I want to press down on the pin. That way it will touch the jumper.
wire?
Yeah.
Surface mount? It's the hobby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I years ago when I was a teenager, I
Like
used to
that.
work for a shop before the surface mount stuff was around.
I see.
You know, trying to get back into
And now if I were to move it, it should move with the.
Oh yes, it's moving now.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And that's how you do a connector.
Okay.
systems alarms,
So from the
low voltage stuff.
towards the connector, from the pad towards the connector to move the solder, not
Yeah.
not to touch the
Yeah.
connector.
Try your best not to touch the jumper, because you might move it. You don't want it to move. All your work would be blown away.
Okay. And is some kind of differences between the colors of the solder mask, or it's
No,
just the
all
color?
is just the color.
Yeah.
There's,
The color.
yeah.
Doesn't that One is
No,
much
sometimes
more
yeah, sometimes it's green. The others are black or white.
red. Yes, yes. I'm using green and red one.
Yeah,
And why Apple's using a black one? It's just
it looks really cool, but it doesn't do
definitely.
anything.
But okay, so it's the
It's the luxury of Apple.
yes, coolness is the purpose. Yes, that's great.
I think someone said it has to do something with heat, and I said that's kind of stupid.
Oh,
But I can't. I'm not a
and are you using Apple products or
No.
no, like that's the company policy or
no. It's
No.
just preference.
okay?
It's usually everything made by Apple isn't that good.
Yes, that's true. I like the ecosystem. Started to use Apple maybe 5-6 years ago. Before I used Android and PC, but now I switched to Apple and it's good for me because it's all connected, you know. But I had my 16-inch MacBook Pro in service maybe 5 times during warranty. It was overheating. I have those with i9 processor, and it's that was horrible. Even they were contacting me directly from States, from customer service, but I was unable to run it. For example, if I was working only in Microsoft Word, the fans were spinning like hell. So,
Yeah.
but it happens sometimes. And what's the most used, for example, computers here in the States, like Dells or HPs or?
I honestly don't know, cause I'm only in New York. I don't know what anyone else uses, but and mainly everyone here has their own desktop, so I don't know
Okay.
about laptops
Yeah,
honestly.
And those brands like Acer, Asus is also sold here.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we get a lot of non-Mac stuff coming through?
Um,
Or is Mac?
we primarily work on Mac. You know, we only do data recovery on non-Mac stuff. But we
On the clean box.
Yeah.
I saw that.
we've seen a lot of Surface Pros come in here for data.
Mm-hmm. And there are solid state drives.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes. And you have to, for example, change the chips or the, I don't know.
We there's this. It's not that I don't think we change them, but we do take them off, and we have this little thing that can read the.
Oh, okay, the data from
Yeah,
it. and-
because we only do data.
Yeah, I understand. Yes. That's nice. And did you try also the hard case stuff that are from Apple to repair the iPhones, or you do not have?
No. That's dumb.
Okay, so you
No
just,
one needs that. Yeah.
Yes, that's nice. They are selling almost everything except connectors. That's what a great idea.
Do they sell batteries? They do.
Yes,
Yeah.
but for example, like in Europe, you are unable to get original part for Apple, only refurbished. They are sold by local companies that are selling parts. Now there's a new possibility that you can buy also a genuine service pack, but it's, I don't know, it's maybe twice the price you like refurbished, so
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense to repair it. So when I say I service for friends, not customers, or friends of their friends, so I do not have many time to do it, only in night 1 to 2 hours. So, and when I say to them that okay, this will be 150 euros, they are looking at me and say I can buy a refurbished one for the price like the whole phone. Yeah, definitely. And battery, it's not possible to buy. I don't know. We have only aftermarket.
Yeah, and then you have no idea the lifespan. Yeah, it's crazy. Cycle time.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Clinton,
And those boards,
You want a
for
donut?
example, what I made for
No.
those cube sets, they are using the huge parts, you know, not using these small parts because that's ancient technology.
Yeah.
So they have to use a big tube, a big, you have to see all the things, all the parts. So,
Because we have to. There's donuts for food.
no, thank you, I'm okay.
Clinton, you want a greenie?
But what a huge coincidence that I came here.
I didn't know if there was going to be a line or anything. I was like, okay, I'll come anyway. So. Is it doing it tomorrow, I think, too?
Yes, I think tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I think almost the whole week.
I would have brought something else, but like I said, I saw it last minute, too. I was like, oh, let me run down here, and I just grabbed one more. So you ever use that fast melt?
Sorry?
The fast melt? Fast melt, it's it's like solder, but the lower temperature.
A low melt solder.
Yeah, low melt solder, yeah.
Yes, I ordered it from China, but I don't like it. It's lowering down the.
Clinton,
Yes,
come on.
It's easier to get off without damaging parts.
Yes. So if you mix it with the regular solder,
Fine.
that has, I don't know, 350 degrees Celsius, like
Yeah.
the melting point, you can lower it down to maybe, I don't know, 200 or
Yeah.
250, so it's great, but I don't like it. It's it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't leave it on there if possible. Take it off.
Yeah,
You wick it off,
yes,
don't put it back
you
on.
have to wake it up, definitely.
Yeah.
Because
No,
it's,
they just sleep here every
it's
night.
Some kind of, there's a bismuth or some,
I think it's a mix of
yeah, it looks
But the base of it is
yes,
bismuth. It's amazing stuff. Yeah.
rare metal. So,
I just tried that the other day. That's why I mentioned it.
oh, yeah, I bought a whole, like, roll, I don't know if
I got it in a tube.
no, I have it in a roll, like regular solder. It's about, I don't know, maybe 50 grams or 100 grams.
Yeah, 'cause it's expensive. They sell it in small amounts. Yeah.
And then you don't need much.
Yeah. Thank
I
you.
know 20%, yeah. 20 centimeters is enough for half of
All right.
I was burning. I was telling him I had to replace some connectors too. The other there's another camera I dropped and it ripped off the HDMI. And it had almost, I could see that the pad was about to lift because I'm overheating it because it's taking all the heat. And I didn't know about the
Looks
the
like
low
you-
heat.
Looks like you are a camera dropper.
Yeah. Yeah. I better learn quick to drop it, not drop them, or fix them. Yeah. Now I'm using safety purposes.
All right, guys. Just gonna wrap it up, I guess.
Sweet.
Yes.
Good.
Thanks so much.
All right, you learned.
Thank you. very
Yeah, I
much.
did. I had no idea that, because like I said, first board was high school,
Yeah.
so it was still kind of shabby. But thanks.
No, it's fun.
You have this whole week, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the next one's at 4:30 tomorrow, but I gotta check the calendar. I'm not too sure.
Got it. Okay.
And hopefully you learned how to do your jumpers.
Yes, I will try it and get back to you.
And for you, I hope your camera works. If
Yes,
not,
thank you so much. Yeah.
I hope it doesn't turn out. It turns out well.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can buy one flux there.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wrap it up, I guess. I gotta clean up afterward, and I haven't had lunch yet. I'm starving. Give them the Clinton. Give him. He can't even see him. He's camouflaged.
You just see his mouth when he meows.
Greenie.
Like free berry.
Wee. Wee. Barry.
Can you give him a minute? Before I leave? I I just see
Careful, you
him.
might bite your hand off.
What's his name again?
Mr. Clinton.
Mr. Clinton.
How do you tell him apart?
He's much bigger.
Clinton.
She has a smaller face.
A greeny
Hard to tell
Clinton.
at first.
Ah!
And he's loud. Super loud.
Very loud.
You barely know.
All he does is meow.
I remember from the videos when he sits in a chair.
Yes, yes. This is him.
The loud one, yeah.
Clinton.
I think the one on the chair is the loud one.
Oh, this is every time in the video.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Clinton.
Mr. Clint?
Clinton?
Mr. Clinton.
Clinton.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right. Have a great day, guys. Say goodbye to the stream, Mr. Clinton. Oh, the feet.
Is it just possible that I will take here a photo with me?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. Ah, you put it down. All right, let me just end the stream real quick. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you tomorrow, I guess, because I'm not the one. I'm the one doing these.